Well, Trump has weighed in now on the Nikki Haley idea of having mandatory mental competency tests for politicians over the age of 75. And this is very obviously directed towards Biden, but then also towards Trump from the perspective of Nikki Haley. And I've talked about how I don't think this is a realistic or even good idea. Two main reasons. Number one, if you're going to have a mental competency test, you should have it for everyone. Why would you arbitrarily pick 75 years old? But then also, if someone's incompetent, let's just not vote them into office. We don't need a test. And there would be too much up in the air about what that test is and how it's structured and all of that. So I don't like the idea. But Trump is actually on board, and he took it a step further. But before we look at his message or post on Truth Social, as a reminder, here was Nikki Haley putting this forward at her announcement speech.
We'll have term limits for Congress. And mandatory mental competency tests for politicians over 75 years old. Most of all, I see a strong America because I see a proud America. Strong.
She's almost verbatim doing my joke of a strong America through our dignity of pride and piece of our time joke. Like just a bunch of random words strung together. And I'm a politician and I talk like I have absolutely no stances in real life. She is quite the unexciting candidate, but that's the idea. Mental competency tests for politicians over the age of 75. And here is Trump's plan. And he takes it a step further in multiple ways. Number one, saying anybody should have to do the things he's going to outline. And also, and then we'll just walk through this. Anybody running for the office of president of the United States should agree to take a full and complete mental competency test simultaneously or before with the announcement that he or she is running, and likewise, but to a somewhat lesser extent, agree to a test which would prove that you are physically capable of doing the job. By the way, everything I just read was one sentence. Let me do that in one breath. Anybody running for the office of president of the United States should agree to take a full and complete mental competency test simultaneously or before with the announcement that he or she is running, and likewise, but to a somewhat lesser extent, agree to a test which would prove that you are physically capable of doing the job. That was one sentence. Being an outstanding president requires great mental acuity and physical stamina. If you don't have these qualities or traits, it is likely you won't succeed. MAGA. So he's saying not only should politicians over the age of 75, everyone should do a mental and physical test to become president. How about we just vote for people that we think are mentally and physically capable of doing the job? That's my crazy idea, guys. But staying on the physical part of this, Trump wants to invite that into this conversation. Politicians should also be physically capable. And he has a long history of outlining just how physically capable he is. We don't have time to go through all the examples, but here is just one of my favorites during a CPAC speech, talking about how physically capable, how physically beautiful he is.
A man that knows me almost better than any human being. He knows every inch of me. And he thinks it's actually a very beautiful sight. That's why I like him. That's why I like him. He was the White House doctor. And also for Obama and for Bush. And I'd love to ask him who's in the best shape.
So he's talking about the White House doctor, Ronnie Jackson, who saw every inch of him, knew every inch of him, and just loved every bit of it. And I guess there's alleging that he may be more physically capable, in better physical shape than Obama and Bush. All right, no comment. But very interesting there. And I don't want this, but imagine how strange of a world we'd be in if someone announces, and then we're waiting to get their mental and physical tests back to see if they're allowed to run. Very strange stuff, guys. As I said, a simpler option is we just use our eyeballs and our ear holes and judge them and see if they're competent, see if they're physically capable of doing the job, and then vote those people into office. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.